It is basically to remind Scientology that it continues to be time for them to be held accountable for what happened to Lisa McPherson. From the perspective of the Lisa McPherson Trust, we set up here in Florida with the name Lisa McPherson merely in honor of her memory. We are a watchdog group for the Church of Scientology, and we basically act as the conscience that Scientology doesn't have in the community. We believe that Scientology is a fine, wonderful group until you stand up and criticize a particular aspect of their activities that we feel, and all these people who come to protest feel, infringes upon the rights of other people, not only people within Scientology, but people such as myself outside of Scientology who's never been a Scientologist, but recognize that this group opposes free speech, they oppose freedom of religion, they oppose intolerance of their worldview. And from my perspective, Scientology is a aspiring political totalitarian fascist movement, and this is why we have, particularly in Germany and France, a far greater sensitivity to the abuses that Scientology tries to get away with in Europe. The Germans and the French have lived through Nazi occupation, and Scientology, from their policies, the day they walked into the Clearwater, they decided that this was going to be a Scientology city. And there was a plan in place called Operation Normandy, which was discovered when the FBI raided the Church of Scientology's office in 1979 in Los Angeles. That was their plan for Clearwater. Gabe Casares, who was the mayor at that time, was one of the targets to destroy. Betty Orsini at the St. Petersburg Times was another target that was set for destruction because she was criticizing Scientology for what they were doing to other people and for the lies and deception. And the Lisa McPherson Trust is here to continue doing what a lot of brave people in Clearwater have done before. And the Picket today is representative of people's feelings all over the United States and some from Europe. That Scientology is an organization that needs to be watched, that awareness about Scientology needs to be raised in this community and throughout the United States.
You need to point out that they were originally trying to make no picketing downtown anywhere. They were trying to prevent picketing within 300 feet of any Scientology property to make sure that it was absolutely silent and nobody could protest, is what they were trying to do.
You might want to interview Mr. Merrett. He's the attorney for the Lisa McPherson Trust. He's a Florida attorney based in Jacksonville, Florida, and he has many times been in court to stand up against Scientology, and I think you might find it interesting to get his perspective from a legal standpoint.
Yeah, well, Mr. Jeff told me that
they tried to completely shut it down.
And they get your permission because they wanted to be right.
Right. Well, like I say, they tried to shut down like this whole block as well, so there would be nobody anywhere around them.
Now, the past years you've done it in here as well?
Done it
in this spot?
Over here, everywhere, yeah.
When we first started, Jeff Jacobson organized the first picket down here in March of '96, and this was before we actually were even aware of Lisa McPherson's death. And Jeff Jacobson subsequently found out about this death on the internet from the Clearwater Police Department's website. And so since then, we've had a picket in March of '97, in December of '97, '98, '99, and this one. And last year was the first year that we were really prohibited from picketing anywhere around the church because they tore up all the sidewalks. Under an agreement with the city that the Church of Scientology would replace the sidewalks, which they did. But the timing of their destruction of the sidewalks coincided with our picket, and just another attempt to curtail free speech. And most of the people who are involved in this battle against Scientology came into this because of Scientology's attack on free speech on the internet first, and then we found out about their attacks on everybody's free speech on or off the internet. And so we continue to make a point that this is not to be tolerated in this country. Thank you.